Good morning, Ocoee region. Yes, it is April, and guess what? I am back with a new show, and I'm really excited. As you all know, this show is not particularly about a hidden gem, but it is about a gem. And so I just want you, I'm so glad you all joined me today because guess what? Guess who I'm talking to? I am talking to the Caring Place and one of my favorite, most respected persons in this city, Corinne Freeman.
I'll tell you what, so building me up there, I don't know if I can handle all that lead in there. So,
I've had the pleasure to work with you. And
Yes.
when you work with somebody, you get to see the real deal.
This is true.
And especially in the business of the Caring Place when you are dealing with the public. And as we all know, we get the good, the bad, and the ugly.
This is true. This is true. So because we all have days that we're just not dealing well, and so and when that comes into the door, you deal with it. So
Come on,
be able to have that, and you deal with it with love and with compassion and with kindness, and so that that is what is reflected back. So that's what we strive to do each and every day, and it's not always easy, but we keep trying. So, and with the Lord's help, we're doing it. So,
well, as the hidden gem of Ocoee, I already know that the Caring Place is very dear and to my heart.
Yes.
I spent 4.5 years there, and sometimes God closed a door.
yes.
But because He closed the door doesn't mean that you cannot still support that door.
Yes.
And so I'm just blessed to think that He's given me an opportunity to continue to bless the Caring Place. But I want to know what's going on at the Caring Place.
Absolutely.
And I know I'm still finding out as a gem that you're still somewhat hidden.
Yeah.
Because everybody don't know the great impact that you all are doing in this community.
Yeah.
So I want to give you the floor here.
Okay.
Just tell us what's going on.
Tell us what's going on. So we are continuing to provide services as we've been, in operation for over 20 years now. So partnering with local churches, with the community as a ministry opportunity for food and clothing, social work services, but also spiritual support. When you are feeling that there's no hope because there's no food on the table, you don't know where the next day what it might bring and what challenges you're going to face. You can find yourself feeling very hopeless, and we know that true hope comes from Christ and a relationship with Him, and so we offer that. Those non-judgmental, open, accepting arms to come in and join for devotion every time before we open. 30 minutes before the doors open, we have prayer. And we have. You'll probably remember a family we had that we were praying for. She was pregnant as a young mother, and her mother would come pregnant with the baby, and was very concerned about the health of her child and how that was going to turn out. And praise the Lord, we began praying with her. We prayed, faithfully day in, day out as a team there at the Caring Place, brought that up in devotion, and her baby was born healthy and whole and wonderful, and is growing. So she was sitting there at our devotion just the other week and just doing the little bounce thing, getting into that, like, I don't want to be still anymore, but I can't quite walk now, so I'm just going to sit here and bounce. And so she was bouncing and entertaining us all and growing wonderfully. But I remember it was just a few weeks after the baby was born, the family needed to come in because we're still filling a gap for them as they struggle financially, as they're looking at how they can make ends meet. And so they still are coming in for food. And they had to come in. The baby, like I said, was only a couple weeks old. And at the devotion time, I remember her mother sharing how having a child made her realize how much God loves us, how much the Lord loves us. Wow. And this is a family that's not involved in a church family. They've not, had that circle of support, so to speak. And for her to be able to share that, she is now being able to understand God's love and that she's seeing the hand of God in her life, being able to touch her child, touch her mother, touch the brother who got a job during that time, touch the father with health issues, that she's seeing that. And so, yes, their financial situation didn't change. change. But their hope situation,
my
it changed
God.
a lot. And
Yes.
so, and being able to know that this is the Lord at work, and just knowing that we were there to be there and be open to His leading and open to His Spirit, I'm thankful that I get to do that every day,
Yes.
and that so that I can live out my calling at a place that ministers hope and love and meets those needs in that. So that's kind of what we do at the Caring Place. So now I didn't. If I still got the floor, I didn't share you about my baby. So my
Yes, come on.
program, okay, which
Come
is not
on.
really program, but it's a new opportunity that we
Yes,
have.
it is.
So,
now, you know I was going to bring this
I know
up,
we had to
because
talk
before
about it.
I left,
Yes, yes.
we were a team
Yes,
on this
we were a team.
together.
We were like, we saw it. Like, this is where we got to go. This is what we need to do. I'm still, it's going wonderfully well. And it is still my baby, and I'm just very excited to see it flourish. But it's our Getting Ahead program.
Yes.
So it's a kind of as a our social work department has looked at, really we want to form through our social work department pathways out of poverty. And so really to be able to fill in all the other needs that families have in addition to those basic necessities of life, food and clothing. And so we wanted to make sure that we offer opportunities. And those opportunities may come through our agency, but sometimes it's just connection with other wonderful agencies in our community.
Yes.
But one gap that we saw was with specifically generational poverty.
Yes.
Generational poverty, because of the trauma that comes with that, and the just the habit and the thought process you kind of get stuck in, because you're
Yes.
solving problems day in, day out, and you become excellent at solving problems. You
yeah.
can solve a problem. You have a need, you'll find a way to meet that need. Doesn't change the whole situation though, and so you kind of get stuck in this rut. So what we looked at is different ways to address that, and that's when we started offering the Getting Ahead and a Just Getting By world. And so instead of just getting by, just I'm gonna have it for this month, I don't know what tomorrow brings, we start looking at how do we get ahead, and what does that look like? What is the difference between having a job and having a career?
Come
and
on.
what support in the community do I need for that? And how can I effectively partner with some of the other agencies to really make use of what they're offering for that resource? And so we, through this, identify 11 resources. It's through the Bridges Out of Poverty kind of concepts. And these 11 resources from your financial, which, money, we got to have money to live.
We all do.
But it's a small piece of the puzzle.
Yes,
it's a
it
small,
is.
small piece of the
Yes.
puzzle. And so we also have to know that we have to, what if we didn't graduate high school? What if we got a learning disability? What if we need support to even be able to read and write effectively? What if we need that? What if we have, because of all that we've been through and the stress and the trauma that it's affected our brain growth, what if we need ways to cope better? What if we
Yes.
need ways to think different? What about that spiritual support?
Yes.
What about the Lord's involvement? What about how we look at it and we need that body of Christ around us and what that body can be? So we look at these, how we talk, how our language affects our ability, our motivation, our integrity. Are we trustworthy? Or did
Yes.
or did some of the way that we've had to solve problems make it where we were okay with skirting the line a little bit?
Yeah.
So do we need to move back? because when you're surviving, you're surviving. And
Come on.
you
Come
got to
on.
do what you got to
You got-
do.
gotta do.
And so, I make no judgment on that. So
No.
because when we're surviving, we're surviving. But we
Yes.
know that God doesn't want us just to survive. He wants us to thrive. He wants more for us. And so that's what we at the Caring Place really are looking at, is how can we move from surviving into thriving?
Yes.
And where will that lead us to? And our role as an agency, we see, is really on a continuum of care. We really want to be able to stand in that gap for those that we
Yes.
serve in our community. So when you're between surviving and thriving, there's a gap in between there.
Yes.
Where you start to stride a little bit.
Yes.
But if you don't have some encouragers, you don't have some voices of support, it gets lonely in that gap. And so we want to fill those gaps. And then we also want to be able to serve in that gap a way to connect. And so participants come through Getting Ahead, and they meet 16 sessions. We pay them.
Yes.
Now, here's the thing. A
Come
lot of people
on,
look
let's
at me.
talk about
yeah,
that.
a lot of people think, well, hold on a second. Like, this is valuable. They should pay you. Just because we go to college, you want to pay for college, right? So you want quality education, you pay a little bit extra. You want to be in the sports team, you pay a little bit extra. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong. But when you're surviving, the thought of taking time out to do 16 sessions, that's 3 hours apiece for 16 meetings. So we meet twice a week, so it's 8 weeks. That's a lot to give up. And you are taking away from something else, just like everybody has to make sacrifices when they go to try something new.
Yes.
So to sacrifice without any kind of compensation, let's be honest, we going to do it? So why are we asking others to do that? So we want to recognize that their time is valuable. They're valuable.
Yes.
They're a child of God. They are valuable. What they bring to the table has value. It has worth, and it helps our community. And so what we want to do is recognize that your time is valuable and your participation in this group is valuable. Because let's face it, if you're not in poverty, you don't know how it is to live in poverty.
No.
And even if you've been in poverty, I myself grew up in poverty, and some. But that was years ago, and so I'm now no longer in poverty, and so I don't know what it's like to live in Bradley County in poverty
at this moment, at this
time, and things change. What I would have done. I remember standing in line at Littlefields, getting Little Faith Memorial still offers that program, and that's wonderful, but it's different than what it would have been when I was a child, and so being able to know that how to survive now. We need to ask those who are in that. And so that's important. It helps our community to plan. It helps our community to know how to best address things. And it opens up a wonderful way of ideas and information that we wouldn't have otherwise.
Right.
So being able to recognize that value. So they do get $25. We try to get as close to living wage as we can. So $25 a session.
Okay.
And that's either in utility credit or a Walmart card. So they get to choose. And whatever they choose is their choice. And then they're paid so they come the first session, second session, they get their payday.
I love it.
So and it's a draw. Can't lie, it's a draw to get in. But it also is, more importantly, it's that incentive to recognize that you have value. Our group this last time we came up. It was wonderful watching them work, and they actually designed a flower. And the flower was our community mental model of what we wanted our community to be. And they wanted our community to be a growing community. And in the center, they looked at things that we could do, smaller groups that, of people of all different walks of life around the table working on things together. Raising awareness of things that are facing our community. The opioid crisis, it's here.
Yes.
They recognize that.
Yes.
They recognize how it's tearing apart families and wanting to bring awareness to that, to things like drug take back and being able to work with groups who are doing that, such as the Bridge. And so being able to do that. So, and then from those centers petals, they have things that they could do, that volunteering, getting involved in the community, talking to their elected officials. From that grew other petals that saw safer community, that saw a community that was more engaged, that was more active, that was healthy. And so they saw this growing out from this center circle, and that's what they envisioned our community. And it was just beautiful. I just love that.
Oh, my
and so
God. That
it was
should
great.
be in the newspaper.
We need to take a picture. I need to send that over to the banner. So I'm going to Cleveland Banner is coming your way. So I'm going to get that over to them because it was. And we just graduated that group. And have a.
That's the second cohort.
That is our second cohort. Yeah, that was our winter
Okay.
Winter cohort. We'll be starting our third cohort in May. Into May, 1st of June in there. And there's some holiday in there. So it's kind of hard to plan around that. But we'll do our third cohort and possibly going to run concurrent groups because from our first Getting Ahead cohort, we had an individual who expressed an interest in helping to lead the groups. And so she co-facilitated this last group, and she would like to do her own group. And so we're working that out. So she will lead a group while I also lead a group so that we can offer this more of an opportunity to those that we serve.
I'm going to tear up.
I know. Yeah.
So, and you'll know. Stuff we talked about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
so
my
we envisioned it. And
Look at
God
this.
is faithful. God
Yes,
is faithful.
He is.
Yeah, he is
Oh,
faithful.
my God.
Yeah. And from that, and she did wonderful. She was amazing. She was such a blessing. And she said, I think that they just need to tell their story.
Yes.
They need to tell their story. People need to hear that they're not alone, and that we probably all have had similar struggles. And that was one of the evenings I remember most clearly, is everybody, myself included, because in that group I'm not teaching. I'm there to facilitate, to help move forward, but I'm not teaching. We're learning together.
Yes.
We're learning together.
Yes.
We are in unity in that,
Yes.
and having that unity within that group, within our community, that's what we want to look forward to. And that's what we want to strive to. I don't believe that prayer that Christ gave, that we would be unified in Him,
Yes.
that's not a far-off dream.
No, it
isn't.
isn't.
It's not something that we need to say, well, that would be nice if it happened. That is something we need to be doing. And so that's what we strive to do. Or that I strive to do in the caring place as well. So to have that. So it was a blessing. And when she said, I love doing that, I want to do more, I just was like, we're going to get you involved. We're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen. So,
I love it. I love it.
So
I love
wonderful.
it. You know what, Corinne, we could probably sit here all day.
I don't have a problem talking, Tony. So I'll tell you what. So.
And I don't have a problem talking about the caring place.
Yes.
Because I know the impact that it has in this community, and I have had the humbly had the honor and pleasure to serve there and get to know a lot of these people who have blessed my life.
Yes.
Let me just say that.
Yes,
It's just a
yes.
blessing. But we're going to go to commercial.
All right. So,
And we're going to come back because we want to talk about
Yeah.
another one of my favorite things of the caring place. Let us break bread
together.
together.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And so Ocoee region, we'll be right back.
Hi, folks. The good Dr. J. Adam here with Daryl Whitaker of Home Mortgage Solutions located in Cleveland, Tennessee. Daryl, tell us a little bit about Home Mortgage Solutions.
Well, at Home Mortgage Solutions, we're celebrating our first decade of lending in the Bradley County area. We have over 75 years of combined experience with John Bischoff, Christy Bruce, Ralph Fisher, Don Nichols, and myself. So we're excited to help families in Bradley County realize their dream of home ownership.
You can find their information at the bottom of the screen. Go by and see Home Mortgage Solutions. Hey guys, the good Dr. J. Adam here. I've got Dylan with me. He's rocking it here at Bourbon and Blades. Again, we want you to come by and visit them. 423-790-7650. What's happening here at Bourbon and Blades, ladies?
Man, everything is happening down here. Y'all need to come through and get your hair cut, get the hot shaves. We do beard trims. We take care of all your gentleman grooming needs. One-stop shop.
Hey, ask for Tarina or any of the gals or guys, and tell them the good Dr. J. Adam sent you from Man Up America.
Hello, we're back. And I'm back here with the Caring Place and my dear friend Corinne Freeman. And we're going to talk about one of my favorite fundraising. I probably shouldn't say it that way. Friend raising.
Fundraising, yes.
And
Yeah.
it is Let Us Break Bread Together.
Yes.
It's coming up. And April 26th.
So here in just a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Yes,
So,
here in a couple
yeah.
of weeks. So I'm just going to turn it back to you. But let's first explain to the people what this concept is.
Absolutely, yeah, because it is a bit different concept, but one I love and one that really does line up with the mission and vision that we have at the Caring Place. And our tagline this year is one table, one community, for one kingdom. And because we are all together under Christ. And so, but with this, we are a nonprofit, so we do have to have opportunities for the community to support us financially. And this is one of those opportunities that we have 2 every year. And with this one, what we realized, this is our 3rd year doing it, is that, we could invite our donors to the table, and we love our donors. And they're, and we, without them, we couldn't exist. We're thankful that God lays that on their heart to give. But to invite them to the table and say, here's a meal that you can hear about, neither one of us felt like that was really in line with our mission.
Nope.
So what we've asked instead is that we've offered an opportunity for the community to give financially, but to give up their seat. And so at their table, instead of coming and having that meal yourself, that you give up your seat to one of those that we serve. So one of our friends at the Caring Place actually comes and has an opportunity to be served a king's banquet, a lavish banquet, so a Song of Solomon banquet. So to bring them to the table and look on them with love and to say that, you have worth. You have value. You are a child of God, and you need to be treated as the prince and princess that you are. And so to have one night that there's no worry, that there's no stress, that there's just fellowship and community and a banquet to enjoy. And so we ask that for those that give financially, that they allow their seat to be given to one of those that are served, and so that we can just bless them in that. And from the proceeds from this, we have wonderful partners, and so the food and the table linens and everything, all of those are brought together by the community and donated. So your contribution will go directly back into the ministry of the Caring Place, directly back into serving those that we serve, to make sure that we're able to provide. I mean, Tony, as you know, and I didn't say earlier, but we see 1,000 families a month, 1,000 families a month that come through. Just before I came here today, I had in my office, in addition to those who were coming and just, were like, I'm good, I just need food and clothing today. In our social work office, we saw a case of domestic violence. We saw a case of medical neglect. We saw a case of someone who was trying to go to school but having difficulty being able to get back and forth. So there's a lot of need that we're trying to be able to assist and to meet. And to be able to have clothing. Imagine that you don't even have clothes that make you feel that you have something of worth to offer. That you don't have enough of food to make a meal around your table. Those are the needs that we're meeting, and we're meeting those needs in love with our community. And so those 1,000 families a month come through, and we serve them with those services at no cost. There's never an expectation they're having to pay for something, and everything that we do is through the generosity of our community. It is through the generosity of our community and the partnerships that we have. And so that financial support ensures that we can continue meeting needs in love, and that we are always there to stand in the gap no matter what comes, and that we are there to be able to be a blessing and to offer hope and love in that. And so we'd love to talk to individuals more if they want to get involved in that. They can come in. They could give a gift of friendship, and that gift of $500 would allow one of those individuals to get through getting ahead. That sponsors an individual to begin the process of moving from surviving into thriving. Or that would help 100 children who are at risk of hunger over the weekend to get sack packs. That little sack pack is $5. We can't negotiate the cost any lower than that because of the item. And so that's $5. And so that $5 ensures that child is going to be able to have that 6 mini meals over the weekend, so that there's not that risk of food insecurity for them, so that they don't have that worry going home, that instead they go home with hope on Friday from school. And so that's what we're asking, is just in any gift, any amount, if you can give $5, that's one more sack pack. That's to be honest, with the partnerships we have and the donations from the community for our food, our 20-pound bag is $5 out of pocket too. So you're feeding a whole family for that $5 for what you're doing. So any gift is appreciated. Maybe you don't have the ability right now to give financially, but you want to give of your time. Come and see us. We need volunteers. So 150 people a week is how many we need. Did you see it? Did you hear my voice, people? We need volunteers. We need your hands.
And it's not just, there are so many people out here that saying, I want a pulpit. I want to minister. Well, let me tell you. You can go to the caring place.
And this is it.
And you can minister, because you have a role for people that if they just want to pray or speak into the lives of people.
Yes.
Come on.
We have our prayer liaison. Absolutely. And and that is something that's been that we've started in this last year, but it has not been consistently volunteered. We don't have a consistent person there. We don't have enough. Have enough. And we need people to come. And that is a station that it's at the end as the individuals are exiting the first building, going down to the food. They can stop. It is one of our most popular spots. People they're longing. They're thirsty for that. They're thirsty for that connection. They're thirsty to know that, there's somebody here who will hear my pain, who will help hold that and will bring it to the Lord with me. And then I'm no longer alone in that pain. You don't have to have any type of special training for that. You just have to have a heart of ministry and prayer. And so to be able to sit there and listen without judgment, and to say, let's bring it to the Lord, because He's the one that can make the difference. And,
I'm going to say this, and I know we get a lot of support from the churches, but when I think of 360-some churches in this community, we should not be sitting here begging for people, one, to come and volunteer, but two, to come and actually pray. We shouldn't have to beg for that. And I can say that. You don't have to. I can say that. And so I just put a challenge out here to the churches that, I don't care how big you are or how small you are.
Absolutely. A lot of times our smaller churches have more representation. So, I
know there's a couple that's in there. Yes.
So you can, but we have, we've got 56 church partners that are consistent.
Consistent. And
in
we're not talking
donating.
about that 56.
So they are doing wonderful.
But there's still
more.
there's
more.
300 more.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah.
There's 300 more churches that could be involved with this ministry.
Yeah.
And it is a ministry where you can come and you can be the hands and feet of our Savior.
Yes. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, and for our Jewish brothers and sisters,
Yeah.
Yeshua HaMashiach.
yes. So to have, and we long to be that. You know, I don't see a conflict in ministry opportunity with the Caring Place. We are not asking that others discontinue what they're trying to provide.
Right.
We instead want to partner. We want to work in unity, in concert with our church community here in our community. That we want to be able to offer a space for those wanting to serve in that capacity. And I will say, and this is something that, you know, one of those things that you hear sometimes from the pulpit, you know, well, this is me too. But honestly, this is me too. We are busy. We are
Yes,
busy.
we all
As a people, we are busy. And we got to be careful that the enemy doesn't use that against us. We got to be careful that that does not become a way that we don't walk into what we're being called to do. And so I encourage those who are thinking, I'd love to do that, but I'm not sure how I can. Pray about it. Pray about it and talk to us and let us see we're flexible. You know,
We'll take an
we'll
hour.
work. We'll take an hour. If you say to me that, you know what, I can only come an hour. You know what, an hour of prayer for God to send you the
my
people
God.
that He will send you. That's an hour of prayer. And so we will work with that. But pray about that. Don't let that be a way that you are stepping back from where you could be serving. And so, and we understand that, like I said, we are busy and it's a lot.
Well, I'm going to say
and you
this
have to
real
choose,
quick.
but-
Somebody told me this years ago. Busy stands for being under Satan's yoke. Busy.
Yeah. So
Okay.
now I don't like that word, but okay. Yeah.
Okay? I'm just saying.
yeah,
I'm just
so,
going to leave
but yeah, I have
that
that.
out there. Selah. Just marinate on that.
Yeah, so just sitting quiet with that for a bit. So to have that, yeah. So,
Let's get back to
yes,
this. Yes,
let's break bread. Yeah. So with Let Us Break Bread, it's on the 26th. It's from
Yes.
6 to 8. We're partnering again with Lee University, and they're going to host us this year at the DeVos Recreation Center.
Yes.
So that's not the larger Walker Arena. That's the smaller venue beside Walker Arena. And North Cleveland Church of God has graciously allowed us to park at their facility. And we will have shuttles provided by both Lee and by Life Care Centers of America. And so we'll shuttle our guests down. So those of our guests who have mobility issues or, to be honest, just get confused.
Parking.
Lee's campus is beautiful and it's wonderful. And I love the green space. But when
Yes.
you're looking for a parking spot, you're thinking that you don't really want all that green space. So,
Right.
but it's beautiful. But we're going to be able to shuttle down from North Cleveland.
Okay.
And we have planned about 300 guests are confirmed to be coming that evening. And so we have a room for them to come in. And we do have some limited volunteer opportunities. Lee University is providing the servers for that meal. I've got a few spots open if somebody wanted to be a table host where they would actually welcome that table and really serve as a host. You know, just, are you doing okay? Do you need more to drink? And fellowshipping with the individuals that are there. Just ensuring they have a wonderful time,
Because this
and there's
is
no
bringing
worry.
the community together.
Absolutely. We want it, again, one table, one community, one kingdom. And so
love it.
we want to bridge those divides that we're often separated by economic class.
Come
And we
on.
often don't have a good understanding. If you're in poverty, you don't have a good understanding of middle class and wealth. If you're in wealth, you don't have a good understanding of poverty. Even if you try and you have a burden to do that, it's hard unless you're in fellowship and you really walk with one another. And that's what we want the table to be. And so we do have some limited opportunities still for table host, still have some opportunities for parking captain, for people to ride the shuttle and help direct traffic, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So we do have some. And so if people want to volunteer during that, they need to give us a call as well. And giving, they can give to us. They can call. They can come by. I'd love to give tours. If anybody hasn't been to the Caring Place, give us a call. Give us a call. Come
Well,
by, do a
even
home
if
tour.
you've been years ago.
No, you got to come again.
gotta
yeah,
come.
so we're
Yeah, 'cause-
constantly trying to make the best use of the space that we are blessed with. And so 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 come by and talk with me, and we'll tour you around. You can get to see kind of the service in action there, and so being able to serve that. So we can give hope tours at any time. They can give us a call for that, and then they can go onto our website or onto our Facebook page.
Yep.
We've got donate buttons in both places so that you can go ahead and just want to, if you're giving for this event specifically, be sure to put that in your comment line on PayPal so that we know to credit that to the Let Us Break Bread Together event. So.
Well, hey, Adrian, if you could put that slide up.
Contact info. Yep.
Info.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There I am. Looky there.
Yes,
So
there it is.
There it is. Yeah.
Love it, love it, love it. You can call the Caring Place at 423-472-4414. You can go to the website, thecaringplaceonline.org. You can also follow them on Facebook. Let Us Break Bread information is out there.
It is Facebook, the website, Instagram, and Twitter. So we're
Come on,
we're on
you're
all
out
three.
there.
So yeah,
and I love what the new intern is doing.
Yes, Megan's
with
been awesome with that. Yes, and we're going to continue. So you folks will be seeing our Testimonial Tuesdays will continue.
Oh, I love
We're going to
those.
begin doing a wish list Wednesday for items such as like chicken helper or tuna helper that we need,
That'd
so
be
people can know.
awesome.
And then we'll be sharing about events and things like that too. So I'm kind of toying around with the idea of doing a fun Friday post, but I don't know, maybe that'd be too out there. I don't know if I can handle it. So so we might be a little silly on Fridays and see and just share some fun things that have happened that week. So
And I love the whole thing about, before we go, I had this thought about getting ahead. One of the things I've had the pleasure of still working in this community, and I'm working with a small group right now that is a United Way initiative, Build the Bridge.
Yes.
And it's about racial unity. We're having a small group. We're
Yes.
having the opportunity to help co-facilitate that
That's
with
exciting.
Jake Strom. And out of that came the whole nations thing, where about a meal and
Yes.
going visiting all these restaurants.
Yes. Yeah. Taste the
That
nations.
come from
Yes.
our immigrants. Again, birth out of that whole unity thing. And we're talking unity. But
Yeah.
I thought it would be wonderful. It hit me. And I know the banner and the chamber are partnering with that piece of it. And so the banner is running a story. Like in this next, for about 6 weeks, they're running a story about the restaurant and all that. But when you were talking about getting ahead, why not?
Yeah.
And yes,
Highlight.
Cleveland banner,
There you go.
Daily banner. I'm putting you on Front Street.
Right. I'm going to call Rick over there. So
Call
yeah,
Rick.
I'm going to be calling
and
Rick.
talk
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
telling these stories.
Absolutely.
From getting ahead.
Yes.
And you can pick a short-term period and just highlight these stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
That
So-
hit my brain.
Yeah,
Because
so I think it's powerful. Their stories are just amazing examples of how the Lord is working in all of our lives, and how the strength that these individuals have had to survive what they've survived and to still want to push forward, to still push forward. So, yeah, absolutely. So getting those in there. So I think it's a great series idea. What do you think, Rick? So, all right. So I'm thinking we need to talk about that. So, and we can get that. And they have offered that, their Getting Ahead graduates are very open to that. They love being able to share their experience with the group.
Yes.
They're our number one marketers, so they just have really found it to be valuable.
And that'd be a great thing even on your Fun Fridays, maybe.
Yeah, that's
just
nice.
Video,
Yeah.
putting that
at you, Miss
video
Tony.
out there. My brain is always...
This is why Tony and I, we still talk all the time, because Tony is like my ideal one. I'm like, I text her, I shoot her a text, what do we think about this? So, yes, I love it. So we'll get it going. So,
Get it going.
Yes.
I love it. You know what? I just want to give you one more opportunity. I know I could close this show, but it's just not my heart. I want you to look in your camera, and I just want you to talk to the public there. Just say whatever's on your heart, and it's yours.
Okay. So, I think that what I'd like to say is that that I love being a part of this community. I love being a part of Bradley County. I love being a part of Cleveland, and that we have so many strengths. We have so many things that God has blessed us with. But we have so much more that we could do if we work together, if we truly really hang on to this theme of unity, and that we really look and we're willing to ask ourselves some hard questions. Ask ourselves some hard questions about how we're serving and why we're serving and how can we do that better. And to me, I think that we can collaborate more. We want to collaborate more, and I know that our community is one that works together so well. You don't see this in a lot of other communities. But I want to make sure that we don't forget that there are people here that are hurting. There are people here that are hungry, and it's not far off. You don't have to go out of the country. You have to go across the tracks. And there are people that every day they're trying to survive. Every day they're figuring out, what can I do? And they have real fear and real worry about just really how are my children going to have shoes? Or am I going to have enough to put at the table tonight? I'm stressed and I can't read them to them, and I want to, but I can't. And they're there, and we just need to love on them. We just need to love them. And I just ask that our community would just be in prayer, in a spirit of prayer, to pray together of how can we best serve together so that everyone, when one person in our community moves from surviving to striving to thriving, then our whole community moves forward. And that's what I long to see, is our community working together in harmony, to coming together so that every one of us has the opportunities to move to thriving. So I thank you for the opportunity that we have to serve. I thank you for the opportunity to be at the Caring Place. And I thank you, Miss Tony, for having me and giving me a moment to share my heart. So,
amen. And there's really nothing else to say other than, as you can see, why the Caring Place is it's the right place. You don't, to give of your resources, to give of your money, it is exactly what God would have us to do. I'm in Acts right now, and I'm right back to the Acts Church. And the Caring Place represents that opportunity for us to be, as a community, the Acts Church.
Yes.
Because in the end, it said, not one was needy.
yes.
So I
That'd be
thank you
so.
for joining me today. It's been a powerful segment. It always is with this lady right here, Corinne Freeman, and the Caring Place. But thank you again. Thank you for joining us, and we'll be back soon with another hidden gem of the Ocoee region.